Hey, so I wanted to create this video training on how to do a monthly card reading for yourself, like a forecast of how your month's going to be. And I wanted to share with you, and let's just have fun with it. So a lot of people come and see me and I do card readings for them and stuff like that. And I'm a great believer in teaching people how to do things for themselves so they don't rely on me. Okay. So what you're going to need is a deck of tarot cards or any kind of cards if you want. But I find for my monthly read, I'm most aligned to tarot. But the other times I use oracle cards. And as you can see, I've got loads. I've got loads of decks and I've got some on my phone as well. But for some reason, and it's so cute, I bought this house and the woman had left this little Harry Potter box, right? And I opened it up. It's like, oh, what's in there? There was this deck of cards. I have no idea what they are. And then I found that she'd left this book as well. And I don't think it's for the same, actually, I think it might be for the same deck, but I've never worked it out if it is or not. Never really, um, yeah, that might be worth looking at. I've not even noticed that. I don't look at, I just see when little treats like that have been given to me from the universe. I don't look any more into it. I just go, yeah, I was meant to have this. So cute. But I've never had that card come up at the front. Yeah, 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 it matches. Because there was two tarot decks in this box. There's two tarot decks and two books. And the other book definitely did not belong to the deck. Did not belong. And I got told to throw it out. No idea. It said keep this one, and it's actually a match. I didn't even know. It just said keep this one, keep that one, the other bin. But I knew they weren't a match at all. Like one was like a Spanish tarot deck of cards, and the other one was just like this standard tarot little book. And I got told to bin them, which was very interesting. But these cards seem to have already been aligned to me. So what I find is just by touching the deck, so don't worry what deck it is. If you don't have this deck, don't stress. Whatever deck that you have and you feel confident and comfortable with, just trust it's perfect. You have to trust, okay? This is all about trusting. This whole process is all about trusting, okay? So what you do is you just go, I align to these cards and the cards align to me. Simple. And you can say whatever you say and whatever you want to say. So you have a deck of cards and you have your little book. Okay. It comes in time when you understand what each of the cards are. Okay. Comes in time when you get a channeling come through of what each of these cards mean. And you want to have a pen and a piece of paper. Okay. And you want to write down what comes through. So for me, I have my book. Okay. So I have my diary. And in my diary, I have a section that says monthly notes. And this is where I write the reading, okay? And that's what I do. And I get the reading in each card. You look through the book and something will jump out at you and just trust it. And if it doesn't, you just write it all out, okay? This is a process of trusting yourself that you know what you're doing because you already know what to do. You've just forgotten. This is wisdom that is actually within your DNA. And we're going to access it. Because if you've been called to this video, just having a drink, it's quite hot in here. When you have been called to this video, trust that you have this within your DNA. And I'm just helping you ignite it, start off and grow. Okay. Now, there's many ways that you can do this. You'll see a lot of people do shuffling. So they shuffle the cards and one will pop out and they put that down. Okay. Some people split the deck with the hand that they don't use for their writing, their less dominant hand, they use and split the deck and they might take it from there. Okay. For me, I have a very different way of doing it. Okay. The way that I do it is I get told numbers, and that number, I find the position on the top of the deck, I'll get a number, and then my spread starts from there. So I've been called 17. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, okay? So that's my first card, 17. Now, generally what happens is, okay, just making them straight. Generally what happens is I then just lay out the cards. Okay. But what happens when I'm doing my oracle cards, that's just through the week, whatever is happening, feel like I need more information or it's coming through for a client, I might get like 17, 24, 4, and that might be the cards in that deck. And I might have to go back and get the fourth card from there, or I'll get told it's the fourth card from the last one. So that's how the numbers work for me. I thought I'd explain that to you. But for this particular monthly read, it always goes, whatever number it starts with, it's the cards thereafter that. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay the cards out. You set the intention. I set this intention beforehand, but you set the intention. So you set the intention, I want to get my monthly forecast for the month of whatever month that you're in. For me, I'd set the intention earlier when I was on my walk, when I thought about I'm going to do this video, was like, I'm going to set the intention that this read is for everyone who watches and listens to this video, and it's for the greatest good of them, and they're going to get what they need from it. So this is not just a monthly forecast. This is a forecast for whenever you watch this video, this is going to be helpful to you. And so it is. Okay. And that's what you do. So then what you do is you lay the cards out. So I'm going to show you how I do that. Okay. So you've seen how the spread is, and I'm going to explain to you. So the first card is the present. The second card is the near future. So that near future could be any time in that month, okay? And then the future, which was the third card on the top row, and that one can be in that month, but it tends to go on a bit longer, okay? That's like the longer projection. It's almost like the outcome of the other cards. And that's what happens, okay? So what we do is we're going to go through each of the cards now, and I'm going to teach you how to get into this book and find out what you need to see, what you need to learn, what you need to write down, okay? Okay, so this was the first card. Okay, this is the 4 of coins. Okay, so you go into your book and you find the 4 of coins and you read the Tarot Wisdom. So I'm going to read this out to you because this reading is for everyone who's listening to this. No matter when you're listening to it, this reading is for you. Trust, and you'll see. You are being overly concerned about physical well-being, whether health or wealth. The message suggests that you are holding back on spending money or energy. If things are out of kilter in your life, the card appears like a slap on the hand to remind you to regain a more balanced perspective. Okay, so this is the present. This is what's going on presently. Okay. Now, if you don't do anything about that, then this is the near future for you. 5 of coins. Okay. It don't look good, does it, the picture? But remember, this is currently the path that you are on if you do not do anything about it. So if nothing changes, you don't learn anything from this reading, you don't do anything about it, and you just continue the way that you are, then this is what's going to happen, is what it's saying, okay? So we have poverty, ill health, or loss of self-esteem are present or possible in your life, but the means to turn the situation around are within you. You must open up to the unbounded creative potential of a quintessential. The world soul that is at the center of your being, the same intelligence that continually creates the universe has created you. By accepting the guidance of your higher self, you can draw on this power and allow it to transform your life. You are learning to access your higher self through doing this card reading. This is your higher self communicating with you through the cards. Okay. So when I say that no matter when you listen to this, your higher self guided you to this video so it could communicate this path for you. Okay. And there's a lot of people in the world that is going through this right now. There's a lot of us experiencing this. I have gone through this personally last year. Okay. And I had to learn my lessons and I had to change my path. Okay. So don't be doomed by the cards. The cards are not just that, they're telling you that if nothing changes and you don't take ownership and responsibility for this and accept the situation and learn from it and create a new way, this is how it's going to unfold. Okay. So what you do is, so with the first card, you'd pull the information that really stuck out to you. So you could put something like, I'm over concerned about money. Yeah. Okay, I'm overly concerned about money. And I'm holding back because I've got a fear that I might not get any more. And that I'm being told that I need to change that. So that's what you'd write. The second one, for example, you go, and if I don't change that, the Five of Coins is telling me that it's going to lead to either poverty, ill health, or low self-esteem. Okay, or loss of self-esteem. And it's saying, and it's giving me hope, and it's saying whatever created me is supporting me and helping me. This is what this card is saying. For even if you have access of wealth, but have not a generous, carefree spirit, then you are still this poor beggar. So even if you are rich in physical wealth, your relationships might not be great. Even if you are physically rich, you have no richness inside of you and you are struggling to enjoy life. Because as I say, money doesn't buy happiness, but it does buy a good time, a good time. Okay, but it doesn't buy you happiness. It's just snippets of having a good time, but it doesn't give you that peace, it doesn't give you the happiness. And a lot of people who win the lottery or pursue wealth, they can't keep it. And if they do keep it, they lose something in return because they're not balanced when they're receiving it. So this card is saying it's irrelevant. What you physically have, it's an internal thing. Okay. So the next card that I'm going to show you is the distant future. Okay, so that means it could be in this month, but it's going to play out. And this is if nothing changes. Okay. Okay, so we've got the Seven of Vessels. Okay, this is interesting. So it says a choice needs to be made. Pick the right tool for the right job, the right path for the journey. When you are faced with a difficult choice, listen to your inner voice. It will guide you to a path that leads you to Anima Mundi. This will be the one that feels right. As Jungian scholar Joseph Campbell said, follow your bliss. So you're going to be forced, okay? In the future, you're going to be forced to make a choice. And however that unfolds for you is how it unfolds for you, but you're going to be forced to make a choice. That's what it's saying. In the near future, you'll be forced to make a choice, and you've got to make the choice from bliss. And that's what's going to get you out of this situation and circumstance. So your higher self is saying, why don't you choose it? Why don't you choose it before we force a choice on you? Okay. Brilliant, isn't it? It's fascinating. So that's the reading of the top line. Okay. So from this one, you might write, okay, I've got a choice to make. Do I make the choice when I'm forced to make the choice, or do I sit down and make the choice now? So what is my bliss? So I'm frightened of spending money or energy. What would I be comfortable spending my money on? What would I be comfortable in spending my energy on? Okay, something that fills me back up. Okay, so if I spend my money on, I love, and I don't love this, I don't love coffee at all, but say, for example, I'm just thinking of a client who absolutely adores coffee. Like, she's like, the doctors tell me I'm not supposed to have it. I'm like, if you love it and you adore it, what's one cup going to do? Whatever it's doing to your body, you will actually change that from your metaphysical energy of loving it. You're loving it as it's coming through your body. You're not going, oh my God, it's so bad for me. Oh no. If you're saying that, then it's not going to be good for you. Okay. So you go, I get to make a choice. So say, for example, I'm going to go out and I'm going to buy myself a cup of coffee and I'm going to really enjoy it. And that's going to fill me up. It's going to fill me up inside of joy that I can afford a coffee. I can afford to have a beautiful, nice coffee. It can be a beautiful cafe where I love people. I could meet a friend, or I could go to the park on my own, whatever is exciting to you. And you're spending energy getting in the car or walking. See, this is how this works. You've got to choose something. It doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to be massive. You just choose something, okay? Just choose something that is following your bliss. So if it's coffee for you, then do it. You're being called to do it. I don't even know why I said coffee. I don't like coffee. But obviously someone who's listening to this does. Okay. Yeah, the next card was upside down and it's three of staffs, but with this deck, it doesn't matter, it's irrelevant. So we don't do reversed, okay? And in the beginning, just ask, just say no reverses included, just set the intention, okay? Because it starts getting complicated and this particular deck doesn't give any different description. So this is the three of staffs, it's called in this deck. So they might be different in different ones, okay? They might be called different things. Just focus on what it is for your deck. Don't be overly concerned with remembering what everything means and what, let go of that. You've got the book. You've got a book to help you through it, okay? This is progression. It'll take time for you to know what each of these cards mean. So we've got the three of staffs, okay? So this particular one, and how I use this is the second line, which you can see right now on the screen. The second line is your conscious and your unconscious. So this is what you will consciously know and see. And the next card is what you subconsciously don't know, but what's playing out, okay? So subconsciously that's playing out, but you might not be aware of it. So let's read this out. Your ship has come in. So you have made the decision, the choice has come, you've followed your bliss, you've followed the cards, and when you follow the cards, your ship has come in. Energy has been spent, and now it returns in reward. What you have been waiting for is arriving. The project will be complete, or the message may point to the arrival of reinforcements to help you out in a tough situation. So by you taking that action, recognizing consciously, you're going to feel, I'm getting help, I'm seeing it, I'm physically seeing that I'm getting help with some reinforcements coming in, or you physically see that a project is coming to a completion, and you'll see that. And it'll actually physically manifest in some way. This is what the conscious side is. The conscious is the left, because the left brain, and the right is the subconscious, which is the feminine side. So the masculine and the feminine. Okay. So then what we do is we go, brain, if I follow these instructions that are laid out by these cards, we're going to complete a project. So guess what? Your brain will go, right, okay, what's the choice? Follow the bliss. What's going to make me happy? And it'll start looking for things. So this is where I like to have the physical and the spiritual meet, because it's all well and good being spiritual and getting these readings, but if you're not doing anything about it, then what's the point? And then it's all well and good being in the physical world and all of that and showing up and taking the action and taking too much action. But you want to work smart, not hard. And when you work smart, you've got to take into consideration the conscious and the unconscious. Yeah. If you're not aware of the unconscious, it's like the iceberg. You are unaware of what is actually deeply going on and what's motivating and driving you. So if you're too much in the conscious, you're going to create anxiety, because there's stuff deep inside that you need to investigate. If you're too much in the unconscious and constantly looking underneath, and you're under the water and you're looking at the iceberg and you're digging in and you're understanding it, you don't know what's going on up there. There could be all sorts of stuff. Your house could be like, all sorts of stuff could be happening, but you're not in this reality. You're not taking responsibility for what you're physically manifesting in the world. You're too busy in the underworld. Okay. Getting some crazy lighting going on. All right. So the next card that we had come through is the sun. This is the sun card. The dawn or the aurora is a state of radiant health and well-being. We are cleansed of the past as we bask in the healing rays of the new sun. The sun is the internal illumination that previously we were too blind to see. So this sounds like the unconscious. This is what's going on in your unconscious mind. My name's in this a few times. It dawns when we bring our masculine and feminine sides into unity and balance. And that's what this whole spread is. This is why I do this spread. It's so powerful. In Jungian terms, this is when our anima and our animus joins our conscious mind, represented by a figure of our own sex. It is also the ripening of the white stone, and it's the reddening by the fire of our libido, the devil. When all four aspects of our personality, feminine, masculine, persona, and shadow, are integrated. So there's going to be a level of integration that's going on your subconscious mind. So when you're coming into peace and following your bliss, what's going to happen is the project's going to finish, and the project is the integration internally is happening on the subconscious level. And you'll experience your higher self. So you're going to start getting access to your higher self. Your intuition is going to come stronger. You're going to be able to do these cards for yourself, which is both our center and our collective whole. In this state, we are motivated and inspired by our desires, but have the maturity to see the yearnings of our soul that are at their root. We have gained the patience to remain unattached to the goal of our quest, manipulating no one and having the strength to simply do what is called for in the present. So pretty much, we're not going to be stressing. We're not looking out. We're just going to be like, got this. I'm all right. I know what I'm doing. I'm trusting the process. I'm trusting the universe. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the second line of the subconscious and the conscious and the subconscious or unconscious, whichever you want to look at. I go in and out, okay? The second line of the conscious, this is the conscious, okay? So after this is unfolded, we're going to be going into the eight of staffs, okay? The eight of staffs. So what this says is you can achieve a better balance in your life by trimming and cutting back. So you're asking to start getting rid of things that is not serving a purpose, that's not helping you. Do not try to take on too much work. So you're being told to start resting. So you've been doing the work, you've been showing up, and now it's time to go into rest. So your conscious mind needs to just start resting, stop overthinking, stop overworking, reevaluate, assess what's important and what's expendable. So you're being told to come internally and start to release. So it could be relationships, it could be physical things, it could be certain clients, it could be work, it could be anything, okay? But you have to sit with this and find out what it is. This is what you to spend your time on, not physically doing stuff. The message also suggests prudence and practicality. So you've got to be very grounded in this, okay? The worker in the image of this card uses what he cuts to build a fire, okay? It's not really showing that, but if you look at the card, he's cutting it down, but he is going away and he's making a fire with the wood. So he's not just throwing it away, he's repurposing it. Is there a situation in your life where you can act similarly? So you sit with this and find out what comes. Or the message may address taking care of an emergency. For example, trees are cut to stop a forest fire from spreading. So what it's saying to you, not necessarily means that, it's just it's saying for some people, that's what it means. So you rest and recoup, you notice that the project's finished, you're feeling this integration, you allow the integration, and then this is your next step, okay? This is your next step after this is happening and unfolding. So you'd write that down. Okay, so I need to sit down and I need to contemplate that something needs to be culled out of my life. I need to remove some stuff. I need to start noticing where am I giving my energy and my power away. And it could be simply your wardrobe. You're on a morning looking through your wardrobe, your underwear, drawer, anything, and there's just so much stuff that you can't see what you want to wear, and most of it you've not worn for over a year. Yeah, it's time to get rid of it. Or in your cutlery, in your kitchen, in your pantry, whatever it is for you where there's clutter, you're being told to start. And what can you do with it? Can you give it to a charity? Can you give it to a neighbour? Can it be used for rags if it's something that's can't be given to someone else? Can you use the clothing as rags? Can you repurpose it? Can you do something with the food? Can you make something and give it to someone as a gift? Okay. Or can you make recipes? Can you start to create your shopping list around and going, oh, okay, you know what? I've got this and this and this to use. So I'm then going to make that particular thing because these things need using. They're going out of date, or if they're out of date, you bin them. Okay. Or you give them to someone who may want them. So this is where we've got the Hierophant card, okay? So this one here is the unconscious that's going on. Whilst you're starting to cleanse, clear, purify, work out what you're going to do with your energies, the relationships, etc. This card is telling you to let go of virtue, is to tell you to let virtue be your guide in the quest of the work. We are grasping the marriage of the principles of heaven and earth and spirit, and master masculine and feminine. Matter masculine and feminine, a union necessary for the synthesis of the philosopher's stone. We are in touch with both those energies and are capable of keeping them in balance. However, we have much. I'm going to face this way because the sun, because see it's okay. However, we have much yet to learn, but we are not quite a quarter of the way towards our final goal, the world. Okay, so yeah, we might have completed a project, but we're not at the end of the goal. So there could be a project within the goal. So for example, you may want to have a loving marriage and you've got to the first hurdle, which is we can now start to communicate. We can actually have a conversation with each other without having an argument. But the end goal is to have a happy marriage. Or it could be something like your finances. So say, for example, you're like, I've been wanting to save for years and I finally set up a savings account and I've put some money in there, but I haven't got to, say you wanted to save a certain amount of money and you're not there yet, but you've set up the account and you've started putting money in and you've been consistently putting money in and you're keeping that promise to yourself. Okay. Let's have a look. The Hierophant's book is open, but it is long and deep. We must integrate the knowledge we have acquired and continue on our quest. So it's saying, what have you learned so far in this lesson from these cards coming through? What have you learned so far? And it's time to integrate. So it's back to that, not taking massive action. It's about coming in within yourself and integrate what you've learned. And then it pretty much says, we must integrate the knowledge we've acquired and continue our quest while we stand at the threshold of the next major phase of the alchemical process. The Hierophant marks the end of the solutio, the dilution of the prima materia into its four elements. Okay. Okay. This is what we've got here, two of vessels. All right. There is harmonious, happy love in your life. The message could pertain to finding a new lover. So back to the relationship thing, or being in harmony with your partner. Together you create balance and stability, a perfect situation. The message also might relate to the inner plane, where harmony and balance of masculine and feminine within create perfection for you. So this is like a deepening of the project that you've been doing is starting to integrate in the masculine and feminine within you, which then will physically manifest on a conscious level that your relationship with your loved one and your partner is coming to a better place. Okay. So you'd be sat there going, okay, all right, I see. And you write down what you're taking from what I'm sharing. Write down what resonates with you. Final card is a Lady of Coins. Yeah. You are physically and materially well off and have time to spend in the enjoyment of beauty. This card can also refer to someone who appreciates and admires the physical world, such as patrons of art or a scientist. So this is saying that your work that you've been doing pays off. If you follow this, you allow the choice and you choose the bliss and you go through this, project will complete. You'll start to integrate this information. And yes, you're only a quarter of the way through, but you're going to get what you desire, which is closer bond with your partner and with yourself internally, which will appear consciously. You'll see it physically. And then the Lady of Coins is saying that it's gonna subconsciously manifest that you have everything that you want, everything that you want. And that's why it creates this, because you're in harmony and peace internally. How amazing is that? So that's how you do your own monthly forecast, okay? You lay the cards out how I've shown, and you find your way, okay? Your way may be different. So remember, you can do the shuffle, you can do the positioning, or you can do how I do it. Whatever's right for you, just feel into it. Don't think too much about it. Lay the cards out. Know that you've got your book. You don't need to understand the actual journey. You will read in the book and it'll start to resonate and make sense to you. Okay, struggle, we're here. So just reach out. You have yourself a beautiful day. Thank you so much for tuning in. And please drop in the comments what you learned from this, what you got from this. How did this reading help? How is it going to help you to move forward and start doing this for yourself? How are you going to integrate this into your life? So you take care of yourself, and I'll see you next time with a teaching. Bye for now.